بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. Alhamdulillah. Tonight we'll talk about the Prophet Ilyas. We can look at the Prophets alayhi wasallam that are mentioned in the Quran. Some are mentioned in great detail, like Musa alayhi salam, and there's a reason for that. Where other prophets are mentioned very little and very little details mentioned about them. Ilyas alayhi salam is one of those prophets. Now, even though there's a little bit mentioned about them, it's enough for us to understand what the purpose of it was, what we can learn from his story. Now in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions Ilyas alayhi salam, and He says, وَإِنَّ إِلْيَاسَ لَمِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ إِذْ قَالَ لِقَوْمِهِ أَلَا تَتَّقُونَ. The first thing He tells us is people is being conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why would you not be conscious of your Creator? And what they did is أَتَدْعُونَ بَعْلًا وَتَذَرُونَ أَحْسَنَ الْخَالِقِينَ أَحْسَنَ الْخَالِقِينَ. Would you go call on to Baal and leave the best of creators? So two things we get out of one, they took something else as instead of the creator, and this could be a Baal, which over here they're taking as a god. But when you say a god, that means there's something else they're working for. Now for us, it could be something else. It could be money. It could be uh, just power. It could be just materialistic things. What is taking us away from the creator? Now the quality he gives to the Creator over to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ahsan al-Khaliqeen. And that's what would work for his people to understand that they should leave Baal. But for us, what are the qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we need to help us leave whatever we're doing that's taking us away from Allah? For example, if it's money that's taking me away from Allah. In other words, I will love money so much and I want money so much that I would disobey Allah for that. Now that's taking me away from me from Allah. Power, materialistic things, love, lust, anything that could be taking me away from Allah. What is the reason? Now for money, if I look at one of the qualities of the Creator, He's Ar-Razzaq. So if Yunus alayhi salam was here with me and money's taking me away from Allah, he's like, why would you leave Ar-Razzaq? Because Ar-Razzaq is who's going to give you the money. Ar-Razzaq is going to be the one who puts the barakah in the money. Not what you're thinking that if I just take money can't really do anything. Even if we take a scenario where inflation comes to play and then money becomes worthless. Now all of a sudden I want this water more than I want the money. I want the food more than I want the money. And you have to put so much money and it's still, someone's like, no, what am I going to do with that paper? But we put the value in the money because we crave it, we want it. So this piece of paper starts becoming more valuable than so many other things that we consider valuable. There have been people that have killed family members. There have been people that have robbed, and in the midst of robbing, they kill other people. Why? They value that money more than everything else. But we have to look at the qualities of the Creator. There's 99 of them. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Malik, Al-Quddus. And over here, Yunus alayhi salam is calling his people to Ahsan al-Khaliqeen. So whatever they thought of Baal, he let them know that no, the one you should be looking at, Ahsan al-Khaliqeen. ربكم ورب آبائكم الأولين. He's your Lord and He's the Lord of your parents before. Now this also should bring a little bit of logic to people, because Baal has some scholars say it was a god made of gold. It was someone else. They have different things of who Baal was, but whoever it was, it had a beginning. Someone made it. It was a person. It was an individual. Like for example, Nuh alayhi salam's time, they started worshipping idols of righteous people who they wanted to remember. But Shaitan tricked them. What was there for remembrance eventually turned into worshipping something. And when you're looking at Baal, you know they have a beginning. At one point, there's a story behind it. So, but Allah, there is no beginning to Allah. He's your Lord. The Lord over here meaning He's sustaining you. And He sustained your parents as well too, all from the beginning. But what did they do? فَكَذَّبُوهُ فَإِنَّهُمْ لَمُحْضَرُونَ. So now there's another thing, a big information we get here. Denying the truth is not just something that just you lose the benefit, but there's punishment, that's consequences that's attached to it. So I can say, you know what? Yeah, I know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but I really need to get this money. I don't just lose the benefits of taking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as Ar-Razzaq. I deal with the consequences as well too. And these people, they dealt with those consequences. But what happened to the other people? Like Ilyas alayhi salam, Salamun ala Ilyasin. Peace upon Ilyas. And then Allah says, كَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Those people who do good, they're going to get that peace. Now you look at it just logically. Someone who's a thief, someone who's going around and took money as something more than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they're living as a thief. They will not have a single day of peace. They will either one day get caught and they have that worry. They will think that, oh, since I robbed someone, someone's gonna rob me, and they're always looking over their shoulder. There is no real peace that they get with that money. If I get this money, what if it's traced? And ultimately, they live that life that they think they have a whole bunch of money, but they have to be very careful how they spend it. They have to be very careful how they hold it. Otherwise, they'll lose it just as quick as they got it. Now, there's people that are even like worse than that, where they rob and then they'll make an Instagram of their robbery and they get caught that way. There is no peace. But when you take Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ar-Razzaq, you take the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as, okay, I'm gonna make money. I want to get rich. I want to become a millionaire, billionaire, but I'm gonna do it within the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Along the way, how many times you fail and lose all of your money and you get back up and do it, you'll be living in peace. And that's ultimately what we want. So this is just one example, but we take that with salah, we take that with fasting, we take that with every single commandment, how you treat your parents, how you treat your kids, how you treat your spouse, all of it. If you want that peace, it goes, you have to go back to Allah, look at His characteristics, look at His qualities, and say, okay, how can I inculcate those qualities to be, to have effect and impact my life? How I'll treat my kids, what kind of things should I have? Mercy. Because Allah says, Arhamur Rahim, man la yarham la yurham. How should I treat my elders? Respect, ihtiram, coming from this word of haram, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it sacred, Masjid al-Haram, that it's so sacred, I'm never going to jump over that boundary. I'm going to stay within the boundary. And by doing this, we will get the same result of a short story, maybe a few ayats from Surah Ilyas, but so much to gain. The taqwa, knowing what takes us away from Allah, and then going back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, making sure we don't deal with the consequences, and ultimately gaining that peace by staying within the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for all of us, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us for all of our shortcomings. Jazakumullah khairan.